Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to this explainer, where we're going to explore the true heart and soul of what we do every single day at Pratimoksha. I am just absolutely thrilled to be your guide today. You know, as a teacher and a proud representative of our beautiful studio, I get a front row seat to the incredible transformations that happen the second people step off those incredibly busy Dubai streets and onto their mats. Today, we're not just going to run through yoga postures. Instead, we're looking closely at the philosophy, the culture, and the deeply rooted community we've cultivated under the careful guidance of our founder, Lalitha Viswanath. We really want to show you exactly how our space operates as a genuine sanctuary in what is, let's face it, a super fast-paced world. And honestly, why the environment we've built is just as crucial as the physical practice itself. So, take a deep breath, settle in, and let's explore what it genuinely means to find your center. When you walk through the doors of our Oud Mitha studio for the very first time, we know there's usually this quiet, completely unspoken question running through your mind. It's actually rarely, hey, will this class fix my lower back? Or, am I going to burn enough calories today? No, it's something much deeper and significantly more vulnerable than that. The question is simply, will I belong here? We completely get it. Walking into a brand new yoga studio can be incredibly intimidating. You're bringing your authentic self, your daily stresses, and your physical vulnerabilities right into a room full of complete strangers. In our experience, almost everyone carries this exact same apprehension. So, acknowledging this vulnerable feeling is literally the first step in how we approach our teaching. We want you to know that before you even unroll your mat, that question has been heard loud and clear. And the answer we've built our entire foundation around? It's a resounding, absolute yes.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the massive contrast between what the modern wellness industry is busy selling and what genuine community actually requires to thrive. The word community gets thrown around so freely these days, right? It's often boiled down to performative wellness. You know, a sleek logo on a trendy tote bag, a catchy hashtag on Instagram, or just a group of people doing a purely transactional fitness class. But as we often teach at Pratimoksha, a real community simply cannot be manufactured or branded into existence. It's just not something you can buy. It emerges organically from shared experiences that are repeated over time. It requires a really profound sense of safety, a space where people feel secure enough to engage in honest self-study. We actively cultivate this culture internally. We are all about depth rather than surface-level aesthetics, making sure that when you're with us, you're experiencing genuine connection, not just some marketing buzzword.
To truly understand why this genuine connection matters so much, we have to talk about the reality of the city we all live in. Look, Dubai is an absolutely extraordinary, vibrant place, but it also produces a very specific texture of loneliness. Many of us, and so many of our students, arrived here completely alone. We've had to build our lives, our careers, and our social networks entirely from scratch. Expat life here comes with the hidden weight of missing those long-standing, deep-rooted friendships back home. Plus, because of the transient nature of the city, there's often this underlying feeling of impermanence, like people are just always coming and going. And on top of all that, there's a quiet daily exhaustion that comes from constantly presenting yourself to the world as capable, successful, and perfectly settled, even when you might not be feeling that way on the inside. We validate this unique emotional reality because, well, it's the very context our students are navigating every single day. And you know, this isn't just some anecdotal feeling, it's a documented reality. Regional research actually confirms that social disconnection is one of the primary contributors to mental health difficulties among working-age adults right here in the UAE. But honestly, for us at the studio, these statistics are really just a reflection of the lived experiences we see walking through our doors. We see this fatigue of isolation every single day. It's a very real hurdle. But hey, this is exactly where our mission comes into play. We aren't just running a fitness center, we are providing an environment designed to organically close that gap of disconnection. We don't do forced socialization or awkward icebreakers, no way. Instead, we provide a consistent, grounding environment where the simple, powerful act of just showing up begins to heal that isolation naturally.
The roots of this safe haven actually go all the way back to 2016. That was the year our visionary founder, Lalitha Viswanath, officially established our sanctuary. Lalitha brought with her more than 19 years of profound classical yoga teaching experience. That is a deeply revered foundation of wisdom that permeates absolutely everything we do. She understood that Dubai didn't just need another place to sweat, it desperately needed a place to anchor. Her vision wasn't about chasing the latest fitness trends. Instead, it was about creating a timeless space rooted deeply in ancient practice. So everything we do today, every single class we teach, and the very atmosphere you feel the second you walk into our studio is a direct result of the intention Lalitha set back in 2016. She built Pratimoksha to be a place of true spiritual and physical refuge.
And that vision is entirely grounded in the core principles of classical yoga. Think about it. In our modern world, we're constantly told to optimize everything, right? Biohack our bodies, track every single calorie, push for peak performance like we're literally machines. But classical yoga, exactly as imparted by Lalitha Viswanath, actively pushes back against that whole narrative. Our focus is entirely on awareness. It is all about honest self-study and showing up on your mat with total integrity. We are absolutely not here to achieve a perfect shape or to compete with anyone. We're here to be sincere and, above all, unhurried. It's really an immersion into a whole different way of being. When you finally take that heavy pressure of optimization out of the room, you allow real space for true healing and genuine self-discovery to take place.
So, the crucial point is how this exact philosophy actually manifests physically. Inside our sanctuary, the experience is defined just as much by what doesn't happen as by what does. There is absolutely no competitive element here. You will never, ever feel the pressure to keep pace with the person on the mat right next to you. There's no hierarchy of achievement. We don't hand out medals for the most flexible spine or the longest handstand. We actively dismantle the judgment and comparison that people face in their everyday lives. Students at completely different stages of their physical practice share the exact same room comfortably because our culture makes it crystal clear you are working with your own experience, never against someone else's.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly how this lack of ego creates a very specific kind of magic. We call it the shared silence. It's just this profoundly beautiful collective effort. When you have a group of people all breathing together, all doing the exact same honest internal work, something really palpable shifts in the atmosphere. There's an unspoken familiarity that builds between our students. You might not necessarily know what the person next to you does for a living, but you know for a fact that you have both struggled, persisted, and breathed through a difficult physical practice together in that very room. That shared vulnerability creates a bond that is incredibly rare and in many ways so much more authentic than your typical everyday social interactions.
Let's move to and see how this builds over time, because this deep sense of belonging doesn't just happen overnight. The journey at Pratimoksha is a true evolution. In the first 6 weeks, students are usually just exploring the initial physical offerings. Learning the postures, finding their breath, and just feeling out the safety of the space. But by 6 months, that's when things shift. Under our classical guidance, they begin discovering the much deeper, unseen layers of yoga. The practice starts actively working on the mind and the nervous system. And by the 2-year mark, this sustained engagement has transformed into something absolutely vital. It becomes a permanent anchor. The practice deepens in ways that are never quickly exhausted, providing a super reliable, unwavering foundation in a city where everything else might be constantly shifting around you. This evolution is exactly why our students are so incredibly loyal to the practice. When you ask them why they keep coming back year after year, the honest answers are rarely about our class schedule or some specific fitness program. They return because of the quiet comfort of the space. They return to feel truly seen, completely without judgment. They return to be entirely unhurried for an hour or two, which, let's be honest, is a pretty rare luxury in Dubai. But most importantly, they return to simply feel like themselves again. Stripped of their fancy job titles, their expat labels, and their heavy daily stresses, they finally find a space where they can just be.
Ultimately, what we offer at Pratimoksha is a rare consistency in a city defined by flux. Dubai has this very distinct rhythm. People move here, they build incredible lives, and eventually, many of them leave. But amidst all of that constant movement, our studio provides a permanent, unwavering continuity. Our core values do not change. Our classical approach doesn't suddenly shift to chase the latest fitness fad. The space remains exactly what it has always been, a safe, sincere sanctuary. In a world where so much is temporary, we firmly believe that providing this kind of steadiness is one of the absolute most important things we can offer to our community. Which brings us to our final thought for this explainer. As Lalita beautifully puts it, the community is already there. It is just waiting to include you. If you've been searching for a place that offers so much more than just a workout, if you're looking for somewhere to land, somewhere to be completely honest, and a real community to grow alongside, we warmly invite you to experience this for yourself. We would absolutely love for you to step through our doors for a trial session and feel the exact atmosphere we've been talking about today. So, as you step back out into the noise and flux of the city, I want to leave you with this one question to think about. When was the very last time you truly allowed yourself to be unhurried? Thank you so much for joining me today, and we truly hope to welcome you onto the mat and into our community very, very soon.